Here we are in a rather overcast looking Monte Carlo. Not quite the sun shining. The bikinis are not out for the girls. Instead, they're probably wrapped up warm in their jumpers because it is looking quite chilly out there. But these 14 drivers are ready to watch some of the best action that league racing has to offer here in the WXL as they're getting ready, of course. One of the shorter tracks, of course, Monte Carlo. So the guys don't have to worry about, you know, they could potentially get free runs. It is pretty much possible, but it still is quite hard to do. We've got KJ Gamer on his way out as one of the Ferraris of him, and a McLaren. Let's find out who the McLaren is. Let's see if we can find it. I've kind of forgotten who's in what car. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm trying to find it. ESR Amazed is in the Ferrari, and then McLaren ahead of him. That might be Butterlord. That is indeed Butterlord making his debut, I believe, today in the WXL. And I wish him all the best luck. See him have a lead. He does look like a rather good contender. So keep your eye on Butterlord 999 on board of him. Just as he comes up towards the casino section now, turn number 4 of course, there it is, lovely casino on the right hand side. Now on the rundown towards turn 5 and towards the hairpin, a lot of locking up of course. These guys are probably putting their brake biases down just a fair bit, but it's still very easy to lock your brakes up. There's such a bumpy road surface as well, particularly heading down in towards turn 5 just before the hairpin. A very easy one to lock up, and well, not lock up, sorry, lock up, that's the word I meant. And actually as well, we saw it interestingly 2014 Nico Rosberg also locked up his brakes there and went flying off, which of course did cause some controversy as Butterlord has just completely got the braking zone for the Novo chicane at turn 10 11 all kinds of wrong, and now comes through to that.
I would sorry, I would just like to mention though, on hot laps at Monaco, on your out lap you have to be very careful because it's also very easy to break your front wing. If you break that front wing, then you only have one run in qualifying, and that might cause you to do an extra lap on your tyres at the end of qualifying, because you have worse tyres for the race, and of course worse tyres to your second run in qualifying, which is not what you want, and you're going to have to put more fuel in the car. So you've got to take the out lap really careful, just so you get a lap time, a banker on the board. Is even more important for the pad players who don't quite have the edge of the wheel players in Monaco.
Indeed they do. It's like in sector 3 at the moment, not too sure. But it will continue as just come through turn 5 up towards the hairpin is Butterlord at the moment. He hit the wall out of turn number 1 at Saint Devot, but he seems to have got away with it. Maybe a little bit damage on that front left, and just like you said, Heskey, front wing damage has proved to be quite an easy one to do around here, of course, with such a tight street circuit. If you could probably get out of here no damage in the race particularly, you're going to end up somewhere, and it's going to be all about who has got the best consistency. And of course you've got to mention it is unfortunately one of them tracks where wheel is such an OP asset to have, but the pad users, they definitely have their own assets, and I'm sure that they will be looking to still pull off a good result. Still on board with Butterlord, by the way, as he comes up towards Raskas and Anthony Nose, turn 16, 17 and 18. There is Anthony Nose. Bit of a weird one really. You don't want to clip that inside wall. It's very easy to do. Now up to the line, Butterlord, he starts us off with a 12.9, not a too bad lap at all. We're going towards Ard in the Force India. As you saw KJ Gamer smash that with 11.198. Ard comes in, 12.4 for him. On board with Adam Lee, he's now coming for the Anthony Nose section now. He's got half a front wing, so that's not good at all. TR Dasher, so that's 11.71 on the process. Adam Lee, it's 12.799. 3 attempts off of JSR Snakes and Hard. I should mention he put a lap in as you come to the senior section. 12.408 for him. And then we've just seen TRPT in the Williams, 12.862, beating Butterlord by just over a tenth. On board with Isar Amazed at the moment. He's in the sector 3 split through the swimming pool section. Everyone interestingly pulling up for quite a lot long runs by the looks of things. Around about 6 to 7 laps. We have got a yellow flag. Not really too sure what we have had there. Potentially someone had a moment. As long as it just showing the outside of KJ again. Oh, there's a Taurus Force India round. So that is Ard at the Novo chicane. That's not gone at all well for him. He has got belly fuel left, so he'll be making his way back into the pits. Butterlord appears to be going for another lap. He's on the ramps to the line. Can he find some more time with the original time? He does. He smashes it up into P3. 11.877 for him. And he'll be very happy with that on his debut, of course. Impressive start for him on board with Nick Marati in the Ferrari. Currently yet to set a time. Looks to be as if he is going for one as he just comes through Raskas. Come up towards the line.
Just to point out,
yes, okay.
by the end of qualifying, we should be expecting to see high 10s. We've seen drivers set 11.1s in this early stage. Obviously, track evolution is a point. Time trials look to be around 10 to 10 3s. So there are many drivers at the time with 10 7, 10 8s. So I should hopefully see mid-10 by the end of this session, which should make the pole fight even better.
Yeah, it does look like it's over. I mean, currently, KJ Gamer has 5 temps on his nearest man with 11.1, but that just means that surely he just connected his first lap together beautifully. So with them potential mid-10s coming in, that you say, we could be interested for a very exciting end of qualifying for the moment, as we have got an Ignorati and Icoxy who appear to be betraying, as Little Rye has binned it, coming out of the hairpin section, just gone through Portier, that is. Just before the tunnel section, and Little Rye in the Mercedes is out of qualifying and will start from the back, no matter of any, unless someone gets disqualified. So he's got a lot of work ahead. If there's any race you're not going to want to bottle quali, it's not Monaco.
Tough for him.
That's going to be very tough.
It does mean there is going to be one quick driver coming through the pack throughout this race. It's going to make overtaking quite hard and defending quite hard for the, let's say, middle pack drivers, but it is going to cause incidents, but it is going to make this race exciting. So he just adds to the excitement and the anticipation for the good racing.
Of course, from a spectator's point of view, that's going to put a big smile on our faces, because we are going to get to see some interesting racing. While we were briefly having a conversation, Ignorati did come in for 12.362, slots him in P6 for now. 1/10 quicker than Ardo. I feel has got some more time to find, but then again, you never know with Artie. He might have some more time to find as well. We have got to force India on their way out.
That is a respectable time. A 12.2 for a pad is respectable.
Yeah, that'll do him nicely. We have got the two TR lads, the two Williams drivers currently on their outlaps, Dasher and PT. Dasher currently sits himself in P3 on 11.7 and PT on a 12.8. So 1.1 seconds separating the two Williams, but of course plenty more time to find. Do you reckon we could be in for one hell of an end? So let's see what Dasher can do. We're on board with him as he comes through.
I do think with Dasher being on wheel, he's definitely going to be up there. PT is going to struggle around here. KJ Gamer is also on wheel. Snakes is one to watch out on. They're all very quick drivers on wheel, and they should be the guys battling for pole position. If one of them can come up a good lap, hopefully they will be ahead of KJ Gamer at this session. If not, hopefully one of them can get into turn 1. There's obviously a big up taking place into Sandal.
Indeed, I mean, we've just on board with Dash and came through sector 1. Interestingly, that Snakes, actually the guy ahead of him, came out the pits right ahead of him, but in the end he did manage to just about get out of the way, just coming out of the casino section up towards the hairpin nicely in the end. So that might have hindered him just a little bit. He did sort of have a little bit of dirty air coming through turn number 3. But other than that, it seems all okay, and he's just coming through the Novel chicane towards to that now, and it looks like a fairly decent lap. Runs a little bit wide there. He's still got enough time, and I believe it's just about enough fuel to go on another lap. As he's kissing the wall at the swimming pool section, that might be a sign that this lap might be a dead one for him, and he'll go again for the next lap. Through Anstey knows he comes at turn 17 and 18. Now it looks like as if he is going to go for one more lap, because he says it's 12.6, so definitely more time to find with him. JSR Snakes is just now starting on himself, just behind him. Still 3 minutes left in the session, but a lot of people coming out to set their laps relatively early. Just on board with Ardy, he's currently 2 tenths up on the lap time. We're just in the first sector split. So he's definitely found some time. Striking it as well is he just skips across the Novo chicane, maybe potentially just to sort of let Ard have a little bit of clean air as they come through towards the swimming pool section. Now he's 3 tenths up on his time, so that currently would put him maybe potentially just ahead of Amaze, but not when you get a bit of oversteer coming out of turn number 15 up towards Raskas. That's not going to give you any improvement on time, and he should creep up to the line to maybe set another lap. He's got enough fuel to, but he set to 13.1 in the process. TR Dasher has binned it massively at the Novel chicane. That's the exit of it. So whether he's got a bit of oversteer and ended up on that right hand side, but the Williams driver is done, so we won't see him contest for pole position as we might have expected, which is a shame to see. But there's still plenty of drivers out there to improve, so could we see the Williams driver fall down the order? It still very much is possible.
One driver
With-
to watch out
with
for that
left.
hasn't set a lap time now is Tommy. Tommy was down 13, was in the pits a few minutes ago. Don't quite know whether he's out yet, but it's going to be very tight for him. And if so, he's only going to get one lap in.
Indeed, he has made his way out of the pits. He might be on a lap now. He gets kisses. He makes his back end almost kiss turn number 5, which is very easy to do. Of course, the one before the hairpin, that was a pretty weird one for him, but in the end, I think he just about got away with it. But yeah, he's still, I mean, he is a pad user, of course, I do know that from experience, but of course, he is definitely someone to watch over. He's got some very solid pace, the Williams driver. Of course, by Tommy, we do mean EAG McElhaney, so it's interesting. Scratcho comes across for 14.919. That's locked him into P11, the slowest of the runners out of all of them, currently just over 1.2 seconds off his teammate, which is Adam Lee, in P10. So that's not gone very well for them two at all. We did just see a bit of a flash. I'm not really too sure what it's for. We have got Ard. Interesting pulling into the pits. We will not see any more of Ard, so a 12.4 will do him. Here, Jay McElhaney does come in. He slots into P2 for now. 5 thousandths quicker than JSR Snakes, but JSR Snakes in the line, and he beats him with an 11.388. So a bit of a swapsies going on there, but in the end, Snakes back up into P2 where he was, but only 5 thousandths separating them from their 2 laps, and now it's 3 tenths. So a good lap from Snakes. Has he got enough? It doesn't look like he's got enough fuel to go for another lap. No, he does retire. So we will not see any more of JSR Snakes full qualifying. So 11.3 will do him. I think in terms of the lap times that you were saying, Heskey, I think it could have been potentially because of this. Oh, we've just seen Bottle or massive bin at there out the Nobel chicane. My apologies for suddenly coming across on a different topic. But yeah, I think it's sort of interesting with regards to potentially even the weather. Just seeing TRPT, by the way, it just set us 11.689, a thousandth quicker than his teammate. So the pad user has beat the wheel. Shock.
That is kudos to him. That is good lap.
He'll be happy with that. KJ Gamer, current pole sitter, he's up to the line, and he does set. Finally, we do get one of them, a 10.632, a mid-10. And he is 7 tenths quicker than anyone else.
That is a lap. I would like to see that lap again. That is a lap and a half.
I'm hoping he recorded it. As Adam Lee has just had a moment. He is now retired, so he will start P11. We've only got 2 guys left on laps. A lot of people set their laps early. We've got Nick Murati coming for the swim pool section and ESR Amaze. Both 7th and 8th.
Amaze one to watch here. Definitely one to watch as he comes across the line. Should be within a shout of maybe the 2nd or 3rd row.
He could be as he skips across the end of the swim pool section. Up to line for Nick Murati. He does improve, but he did corner cut, so no improvement for him. Then we're on board with Amazed, the man that you said to watch out for. He's just come out of Anthony. He knows now. He's up to the line. It looks to be a fairly decent time, and it looks like as if he corner cut it. Isn't that great?
Oh.
Shame, really, but I mean, he is still on the 3rd row. He's just 7th. But by the looks of things, that looked like it could have been an 11 there, so it could have been a very good time from him. So on pole position is KJ Gamer, the man who looks to be the front runner of the championship following a slightly controversial incident. But then again, he is on pole position, putting himself in a prime position for the win. 7 tenths quicker than anyone else, which is JSR Snakes. And then a further 3 tenths behind him is EJ McElhaney and TRPT. Looking down the rest of the field, we have Dasher, Buddlelord, ESR Amazed, Enigmarati, Sergio Perez somehow, Icoxy, Alan Lee, Stracho, Harley, and Little Roy ran at the grid. Interestingly, Harley and Little Roy did not set laps. Little Roy binned it, and I did find out that Harley, as he's in the party, he had to leave to get his setups and he could come back in, so unfortunately he had to sit out qualifying. But now he gets his opportunity in the race, and here we go.
I would just like to warn everybody of just a few interesting battles we could be seeing throughout the field into turn 1. First of all, of course, Little Roy coming into Sandoval will be looking to make up places from the back of the grid. 2nd and 3rd on the grid, JSR Snakes and Tommy should be very interesting to turn 1. Obviously, the wheel user will be looking to keep track position over ahead of him whilst trying to attack KJ Gamer for 1st place. But you never know, Tommy is an aggressive driver and can pull off very good moves. So that will be a very exciting turn 1 of room for him.
Indeed it is. One of the shortest runs down to turn 1 on the Formula 1 calendar, but it doesn't mean the action heading into it is any more less exciting. This is the WXL, this is the Monaco Grand Prix, as we build up towards 5 lights. 3, 4, 5 red lights ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix, and it is lights out now, and away we go. This start the front runner by KJ Gamer, along with VJ McElhaney on the second row, getting fed his start, but JSL Snakes is round the outside, and now McElhaney down the inside of him through turn 1, just what you said, he needs to get the move done now, he's on the offensive against KJ Gamer, on the run up towards turn number 3, he's trying him round the outside, KJ Gamer contact as well with both of them, there's massive contact with the leaders, Snakes is round, McElhaney's got front wing damage, KJ Gamer front wing damage. TR Dasher sneaks his way round into the lead. Fantastic job from him. Stratcho as well. He's found himself up in a P3 all of a sudden and ghosting through KJ Gamer and TRPT. And Stratcho is down the inside. There's huge ghosting through the hairpin. They come. And it has been an absolute carnage start as Adam Lee as well. The two Hasses are third and fourth, and then Stratcho has binned it. He's now lost all the positions that he just gained in a fantastic start. Not at all gone well at all for him. Back up towards the lead as we go. And it's surprisingly, it's Dasher who leads, PT in second, and Williams 1-2. Adam Lee third. KJ Gamer in fourth place. Coxey up into fifth. McElhaney down to sixth with massive front wing damage. Little Rob, a fantastic start. He's into seventh. Bottle with no front wing. He is down, falling down the field. Coming through the swimming pool section. JSL Snakes as well with no front wings.
Madness.
Absolute carnage off the line as KJ Gamer and McElhaney pit.
Tommy made an aggressive move around the outside, couldn't make it stick. Contact with the outside of KJ, spun him into Snakes, and a massive crash. Could have turned into a possible 7 or 8 car pileup. Lucky maybe 3, but all 3 crucially have front wing damage, allowing Dasher to put them away.
Indeed, it was a fantastic start from 5th to 1st on within 5 corners. What a start for him, as his teammate meanwhile has got a bit of damage on that front right, but of course he has Adam Lee behind him. So the question is, can Dasher use this advantage to get away and create a massive lead, as it is currently a Williams 1-2. Adam Lee as well, he climbed 7 positions off the start. He started 10th, he is now up in the 3rd place.
That is solid. Congratulations.
Yellow flag is sector 2. Stratcho at the hairpin has had another moment after binning it. He hasn't had his front wing change, so he's just falling down the order. After at one point he was in 3rd, which I think was a bit surprising in itself. Stratcho found himself in the 3rd place on that one, but now he's back down into P8 and 15 seconds off the nearest opposition, which is Harley. Tyre choice, I mean, well, we should quickly mention Adam Lee, Little Wright and Harley all on super softs who did start on them. Meanwhile, you've got Dasher's PT, Coxey, of course, and Nick Marati, who are inside the top 10, are on ultra softs. So a bit of different strategies. This means that Adam Lee, if he can stick with PT here on this first stint, he can really go from in that second stint on the ultra softs. And what a start we have just witnessed. It's been chaotic, and that could potentially be championship changing looking further down the line.
Most
for
definitely.
the championship. It is. But I mean, we've now got a 4-man train here starting to form for P2, featuring TRPT, Adam Lee, Coxey now coming to the back of it, as well as Little Wright, who, remember, Little Wright started stone dead last in 13th. He's now 5th
will be
place.
going for a move there. Yeah, definitely. On those harder tyres, he's going to want to clear the car. He's going to get the work least.
Oh, Stratchos are taking out KJ Gamer!
Oh!
A humongous crash coming out of turn number 5, and KJ Gamer just punted into the wall by Stratcho, and surely that has changed the championship, as it already wasn't changed because KJ Gamer was on pole position. He is now out of the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, and this changes everything. Unbelievable stuff. I'm sure there'll be a stewards inquiry about that after this race, but for the time being we'll stick with the race that we have at hand, and it's looking very close as KJ Gamer fortunes of the session. That's a real shame for the Mercedes drivers. Look to be his time to fully take advantage of this championship and start to maybe develop a lead. But
the
that
one race we
just
expect
different.
to dominate, he's out after 3 laps. That is going to be not only a big dent to his championship, but it's to a big dent to his confidence going for the rest of the championship, because knowing you've missed out, it's mentally, it's draining, and it's definitely not good for a driver like him, who already has to make up ground to the championship leader, to be losing ground at a track where he really should be winning. It's just going to make it harder for him, but more entertaining for us as the championship goes on.
Indeed, it will. Oh, Adam Lee's just had a bit of a knock in the wall there, and so is Coxey as well. So Adam Lee and Coxey, 3rd and 4th, but they both had a front wing damage. That's allowed PT to create a bit of a gap, because he's got damage on that front right, Adam Lee has now has front wing damage on that front left. So who can contain their damage the best? This man with Little Roy can surely take advantage of this. As the guy at the back of this train, it'll be crucial for him to take it one by one and take it nice and calm. Don't do anything suicidal because there is still over 34 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix to go. So it's nowhere near over just yet. But he's now got an opportunity. Coxey carrying that damage on the front left, Adam Lee front left, PT front right, but now 3.7 seconds clear is his teammate TR Dasher, who's done everything he needs to do for the time being to surely claim the victory. But meanwhile, Little Roy's looking feisty. DJ McElhaney is in the pits. He's got more front wing damage on that front right. So his day goes from bad to worse. Through the hairpin they come. Wasting time for harm. On board with a little right through. Oh, a bit of contact on the back of Coxey there as they come up towards Anthony Nose. Now the second DRS straight down the start finish straight they come, and it's still Adam Lee, Coxey, and a little right in that order. Not looking good as Adam Lee picks his start 3-second time penalty as well. That's not going to be helpful for Incremen's race. Sandoval is quite a known place to get corner cuts, and he has got his first one only on lap number 6, so a long ways ahead of him. As they come through turn number 4, and Little Roy's look on the inside of Coxey, the run towards turn number 5, just before the hairpin section. Down the inside he goes. Can he get the move done now? With all back for the hairpin section, he squeezes him out. Little Roy with a fantastic move there to get himself up at a P4. Fantastic job, and a good bit of driving as well from Coxey to sort of, have the intelligence to not do anything stupid and just let him have the position for front wing damage for him. So, but Little Roy, it still continues on his climb up forward. He's now in a P4, and as Adam Lee is his next target in sight.
The one to watch, definitely proving himself here, isn't he? He's had a solid start. He's on hard tyres. He's using strategy to outthink his opponents, and is now flying from the field as the race is knocks. And it's going to be worrying the likes of TR Dasher, because at the end on lighter fuel, having softer tyres really does matter, especially on a track like Monaco, where you have those extra grips and you can get even closer to the barriers.
Yep, because I think this has just worked in his favour, because Adam Lee has just dived into the pits on lap number 7. It's going to be an alternate strategy for him by the looks of things. He might be planning a 2-stop now, because he's going on to the ultra soft tyres. But that now puts Little Roy to P3. But just as you were speaking about him, just as he came out of this Wimpole section, he got a bit of damage on the front left, and now he's got the front right. Oh my goodness me. Commentator's curse has just come in, and he has got massive amounts of damage on both sides of his front wing. Surely he'll have to dive it in. This now will surely put Coxey up into P3, and Ignorati will be P4 if he does pit. So, and you've got to say fair play to them two for this moment. They're always Duarte. You wouldn't expect to see him there here, but he is.
I think he proved it in Baku, didn't he? Yeah, he proved it in Baku with that 5th place, solid race.
Oh, Little Roy's gone straight on at the Novo chicane. Coxey just got past.
Oh, incidents everywhere.
It's absolute carnage, and he is crawling almost to a crawl on this lap as Stratford has retired. As they come through this Wimpole section now, will Little Roy pit? We'd probably expect him to maybe potentially do it, but this has allowed Petey to gain a 4-second lead as he does dive it in. Little Roy has dived it in, so what tyres will it be for him?
Soft's got to be.
It's ultra softs, so it's going to be a 2-stop for him to the end of the race. Meanwhile, Harley has got an ESR Amaze ahead of him. He's got front wing damage on the front right as Harley, and that is the lapped car of ESR Amaze, so hopefully he should get out of the way. As Adam Lee will come out ahead of Little Roy, of course. But actually, by looks things quite some margin. What about Buddlelord? Where is Little Roy? There he is on the right-hand side, as well as JSR Snakes, who's just behind him. So, always going to do his best to try and get out. He might just about side by side with Snakes on the run towards turn number 3. Through 2 they come, now up towards the casino section of turn number 3. Very difficult to side by side contact. Massive amounts of contact with the Red Bull and the Mercedes. And Snakes has got no front wing as well as Little Roy. So their day goes from bad to worse. And Little Roy has now got to dive it back in again, and so has JSR Snakes. Oh, someone phone me an ambulance. I think I'm going to have a heart attack with the amount of action in this race. Huge contact. So they're going to have to both dive it in. This will promote McElhaney up into P8, I believe. For now, I believe. But we'll come up back towards the leaders because it's still a Williams 1-2, remember. Dasher is 9.3 seconds is clear of PT. Then Coxey's 4 seconds behind him.
Yeah, the gap that Dasher has at the moment will be beneficial. Could play into his hands, with his teammates stopping for front wing damage, possibly a 2-stop could be on Dasher. Ultra soft, super soft, just to ease the tyre wear. You know, wheel can be a bit harsh on his tyres. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But if he continues to pull out his gap, as he will having the wheel anyway, it will turn out well.
McElhaney has darted ahead of him as I did expect he would as they came just on board and come for the hairpin section. I suspected he would come out ahead. About 15 seconds was the gap before the front wing damage, so he's got plenty of room. He's on the ultra softs at the moment, and as well Little Right is on the ultra soft. JSR Snake's trying the super soft, so we expect them to go on to a different 2-stop as he gets a 5-6 stop go for corner cutting because he elected the white line and then there's just massively butchered turn 1 as a result, which is Sam Devot, and now it's a 5-6 stop go. Can this man's day get any more exciting? Because it was really exciting because he was on a prospect potentially get a very high finish, if not the race win, and all of a sudden at the flip of a switch he was down in scrapping for the last few points. Now he's coming up to be almost a lap down. Yes, I may has in a moment, but let's looks like I've just been told that apparently it's amazing. AJ McElhaney is slowing down to a crawl here to maybe potentially battle with Little Rai as he's just picked up front wing damage through Tibet, so it's got even worse for him as he skips across this corner and then picks up a 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness me, and he's just clipped the back of McElhaney and he's now going to and he dives it in as Butterlord has binned it. As the casino section, he has had a massive wallop. Could have been, yeah, it was on the exit of the corner, so it could have been traction like a bit of oversteer, and it's just punished him in the wall. So we will not see the McLaren have a good result on his debut today, unfortunately. That will mean we now do have 10 runners left out of 13. As Adam Lee is continuing, I think he's picked up some more damage after his original damage that he picked up early on. He's got him on P6 scores. Good pony. Ningmarai is starting to be closed up here, by the way, by Harley for P4. Harley on the super softs at the moment, and Ningmarai on the ultras. Can the Sauber close up towards him as much as he can? As ESR Mace has gone on to the intermediate tyres. I'm no expert, but it don't look like it's going to rain.
It's certainly not looking at the weather, but crucial to point out for Harley is he doesn't have a setup. So driving around with his default setup is going to hold him up. Not he's going to make him slow, it's going to give him worse tyre wear, which is going to lead to him being even slower because of the tyre wear. It's going to be madness, and if someone like Artie does get the opportunity to go past him, I shouldn't see him holding up too long because it's just not beneficial to his race in the current situation.
JSR Snake's got a fantastic runner, EJ McElhaney from P7. But he swiftly blocks that off and says, nope, you are not coming through there on the one up towards the casino section. It's ultra softs against super softs, but Tommy is going very slow. Contact! Oh, McElhaney's in the wall. And JSR Snake has picked up some more damage.
Again.
Oh, crikey. Another incident for McElhaney. Can this man's day get more chaotic? As Adam Lee as well as at a moment, as McElhaney doesn't have a tyre.
Just to point out, that is the third time that Snakes has got damage in this race and still is in 7th position. And Tommy's second time getting damage. Everybody just needs to calm down a bit. Yes, it's Monaco. It's going to get heated there. There just simply isn't enough space for them to go battling. Perhaps if they start doing this in Canada, it would be a bit easier. But certainly not in Monaco, and it seems to definitely be exploding. It is making for a spicy race at the front, though. It's mixing up the championship.
That's what That's what Monaco always does. Now, the interesting thing is in terms of strategies, of course, I'll tell you something. One thing I can mention is you can actually make super softs go to the end from here. They do last quite a while, as Izar Mace is in for another set of intermediates. Again,
Surely
still doesn't look like it's raining. Still doesn't look like it is enough. But JSR Snakes has done exactly what his teammates done, but he's gone to the extreme. He's on the full wet tyres.
Yeah, there we go.
Little Rice binned it. And JSR Snakes has retired. Oh my goodness me, we're down to 7 in the space of a few corners. Snakes retired. Little Rice binned it at the hairpin. At this rate, we're going to end up with 3. We start with 13, we're down to 7.
And there will be no rerun whatsoever, no matter how many finishes.
Now,
Yeah, Ollie, shut up.
I would like to mention that Adam Lee has picked up a bit of front wing damage on the front right. Harley has, by the looks of things, damage on both sides. He must be struggling. As amazed as actually, yeah, he's interested in AI, so that is him driving around on the intermediates. But meanwhile, Coxey is starting to close up to the back of PT here. For P2, we could actually have a nice battle going on. We come through the swimming pool section. PT, of course, trying to maintain that 1-2. And at the minute, his teammate, by the way, is 18.2 seconds clear of
Definitely
him on lap 14. Yeah. Surely he can two-stop and, you know, potentially even at this rate, at the pace that he's driving at, come out in the lead for his first stop.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the drivers with front wing damage right now, not only have they got front wing damage, but they're on old tyres, they're going to be sliding around. So much more risk, I'd say maybe 250% more risk of getting even more front wing damage at this stage. It's not a very, you're on high fuel load still, you're not on a very evoluted track, and you're on old tyres that are not the grippiest of things, let's face it, at this stage of the race, and you have to battle with people being in the dirty air. You really have to play this part of the race really carefully, because one of the most crucial parts of the race, you have to set up the end of the race, and knowingly make sure you're in a good position for the end of the race, because if you're not, you're going to struggle and you're going to get lots of battles that you're not going to want to end the race, because the car's going to be going past you. You've got to have a good middle to the race.
Exactly, it's just as important as the fundamentals of racing. I think I just saw a bit of Charlotte front wing fall off PT again. Maybe potentially. As just sort of point out, his teammate has just pulled out. I've just been checking like the gap throughout this lap while we've been sticking on board with them. It's pulled out as Coxey has dived it in here on lap number 15. So undercut, a bit of an undercut here. Of course, both of
Monaco's
them, I believe, have front wing damage, eh? So
yeah, Ethan has to be real careful here with his front wing damage. He's got to get his front wing replaced, and he had to dive in first. He couldn't give Coxey the upper hand, which he has. Because with that front wing damage, he comes out, he can do another lap, perhaps be even upwards of 2 seconds slower on his in lap than Coxey would be. And he's risking coming out behind him here.
Indeed he is. This is going to be crucial for Coxey. He's just binned it out of the pits.
Oh!
Coxey has binned it coming out of the pits. Oh my goodness me. Coxey has had a moment coming out of the pits, and he now has front wing damage again on the exact same spot that he had at the first time. Adam Lee now gets past. And this man's day has just got bad as Dasher dives it in. 21 seconds is the gap to his teammates, so will he come out clear? He doesn't have a front wing change to do, so remember that. In he comes, now against to 22 seconds, 23. Pete's struggling like mad. So Coxey did have a moment out of the pit, so it goes very bad for him as Harley picks himself up 3 second time penalty. And out comes Dasher. And he has come out at miles ahead, but his teammate has also died it in. And Ignorati also dives it in, and he's on for a podium as it stands. As PT comes in, of course, to get his front wing change. Artie as well getting his front wing change. But Dasher now has 14 seconds over the nearest driver, which is Harley at the moment. So I don't think anyone expecting that. As it's a bit carnage at the moment, but Ignorati has just. I believe he's actually come out ahead of T-Up PT here. So Ferrari might be spoiling the Williams party potentially as they come out the pits. It's Ignorati third, PT fourth, Now the question is I don't personally think Harley's still yet to pit, of course. Yellow flag in sector 3, and it's ESR Amazes at the moment, out of Anthony Knows. So as if his day has not got any worse. As Adam Lee as well and Coxey both dived it in. This is Coxey's second stop. This is Adam Lee's third. So you do the maths. TR Dasher finally gets himself his first 3-second time penalty of the day. Took you long enough, Sunshine. As Adam Lee comes out the pits in P5, Coxey P6. Coxey's interesting on to the softs, whereas Adam Lee trying the super softs in. I personally think they could go to the end, as Amazed gets out the way for the pair of them as they come through the casino section. Nicely. 10-second time for TRPC for corner cutting there. So what's he done there? He's got a massive... Oh, he's binned it! TRPC has binned it! Huge news! It wasn't even that big of a wallop at Tabac. And he is out of the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. And this will surely mean now that if Harley pits, which he's still due to, he will be in P3. I don't think anyone could quite predict that. He started 12th.
We would have had one heck of a race. I don't think Dasher has got yet. He's on the supers. Should be going to the end, but it depends what lap he pit. Can't quite remember what lap he pit. It depends. It depends a lot.
As Adam Lee has got he's lost all of his front wing. So he's down into
We could be down to a matter of 3 or 4 runners with 10 laps. We're getting dangerously close. It's a good one to go to.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but we're not even hit the halfway mark yet. So, say something.
We've also lost 2/3, well, 3/5 of our drivers, which is not what we wanted really, but it's what we're here with.
Yep, we've just had Adam Lee come back out as he's picked up a 5-second stop going for corner cutting there. How that was corner cutting, I'll never know. It's Amazed comes out as well. They're both on soft tyres. So the bottom 3 drivers, which, I mean, Amazed is so far behind, he's even yet to pass Petey yet, who's binned it, so he'll be up into P6. Adam Lee as well is P5, who's now done 4 stops. He is in P5. I'm not doing too bad job. Still 10 points for him, you've got to remember. Coxey as well. Of course, he was on for a potential higher result, unfortunately. Due to bidding it out of the pit, he had to make an extra stop, and in the end he is now P4. Artie P3, not going too bad at all from Harley in P2. He still gets to stop, so he will come out behind Artie, so that'll put Artie back into P2, and Dasher, who already has made his first stop and is most likely going to the end, is leading the race by 18 and 19 seconds now, which will actually promote up into 30 plus seconds when Harley dives it in. So that is quite incredible.
Interestingly, just to point out from the Twitch chat, JSR Snake said he automatically got between the wet tyres. So Codemaster is just pointing out why their game is esports ready, and clearly the best choice they've ever made.
Well, I mean, yeah, Jeff doing some absolute bits there in these rather stormy conditions, I think you could say. It's been a storm, but it's been a storm of debris, not quite storm of rain so far.
Well said.
But it's not quite at all going well. Buddlelord has now left the session. He's been enjoying for the last few laps. It's amazing, interestingly gone AI. Whether that's just make sure he crosses the line or not, I'm not too sure, because there's Artie just now lapping. Surely Dash is going to have this wrapped up in a nice tidy bow. I mean, come on. If he was to bottle this now, like, I would generally have to call him the rest of his TR bottle. Because, I mean, he's got such a big lead. He's drove so well. And it's gone so well for him. And he definitely deserves all 25 points, but it's still, we're only just now hitting the halfway mark, remember. So whether this next half of the race is going to be incredibly boring, we'll have to wait and see. I hope it's not. I really do. But at the same time...
Did you give Mace a shout out?
I did. He's currently sitting in P7, but he's AI at the moment. So whether he's just gone AI to make sure he gets to the end.
He's got his shout out. There you go.
Yeah, he's over to P6. I love the fact that he's made the exact same amount of number of stops as he has position. You know, when you're first, that makes sense because you've done a 1 stop. But when you're 6th and you've done 6 stops,
that is impressive. Kudos.
Dacia now 23 seconds clear of Harley. And Artie as well is further 10.8 seconds behind. So now, surely, I mean, interesting note, by the way, just have a look at fuel on the telemetries. Enigma Artie, minus 3.4. Oh!
He's got some saving to do. Could be tight, that. That's actually going to be really tight. 3.4, I mean, bearing in mind around 1.2, you're probably going to save about 0.17, 0.18 per lap. And that will take about 20 laps to save then. So about 20 laps left for the race. That's going to be really, really close. He's going to have to watch out for that. And a lot of that will be spent in lead. So if he does go on the defensive, he's going to have to watch his fuel. And if he does want to attack, then of course he's also going to have to watch his fuel and make sure he doesn't go over a limit, else he's not going to finish in this race.
Yeah, of course, he'll most likely be crawling towards the end. I mean, he's got 36 seconds clear of Icoxy at the moment, so he's got a big enough gap behind him, but the question is when Harley dives in, of course, he'll have a fresh front wing and the faster compound tyres, and we all know what Harley's pace is like. He is a very quick driver. So the question is will Artie be able to do enough to defend that P2? I mean, still, you've got to remember, Enigma Artie, for him to finish P3, that would be one hell of a result for him. So 100% got to be happy for the Ferrari driver. Getting some very high points today. He's normally quite a consistent and clean driver, and he's proven that today at the streets of Monte Carlo. On board with Harley as we just watch him, because I just had to stick on board with him for the moment with his front wing damage, and he actually seems to be managing it quite well. Of course, the thing is with front wing damage is after a while you do sort of start to get used to it, but he's still dropping massive amounts of time. But it's the fact that he's probably given it right up to the edge that he can. He's going he's not making any stupid mistakes, but he knows exactly what his limits are with his front wing damage. And in actual fact, it's sort of allowing him, especially in certain low traction zones, to actually further get away from Artie as best he can, just sort of maintaining the gap as high as possible. Because of course, this is just as crucial as the stuff when he's on the ultra softs, because he doesn't want to come in as Inside Mace has just ruined his record, by the way, because he's in the pits again. Has a 5-second stop go penalty to serve. This now means, unfortunately, he's 6th, but he's done 7 stops. He just ruined it for us. If Adam Lee pits once more, he'll also be 5th place with 5 stops. So, I mean, come on, please do us a favour. Icoxy still has 2 more to go. I don't really know why I'm talking. This is probably one of the worst topics to talk about in commentary. But I mean, come on, it's a bit quiet at the moment, so I need something to talk about to bide the time a little bit.
If we just talk championship-wise and constructors-wise as well, we have been forgetting about the constructors lately. I'm pretty sure this race will boost Williams quite far up the constructors, but they hopefully should be challenging Mercedes for the constructors as we go through the season. They obviously had a difficult first few races, Williams themselves, but if they do have a few more races like this, it's going to make it close. Whether KJ can pick himself back up without teammate, of course, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be winning a fair few races this season. Certainly, the constructors should be exciting, and the drivers. The drivers is going to get very close also with KJ now. More ground to catch up, but people like Dasher trying to catch up, and PT also losing ground even more. They've also yet to catch up with Smithson, but once they do, we're going to have a clear path of where they are. We're going to know who's going to be there and who's just about not going to be there at the end of the season. It's going to make it very exciting, especially towards Brazil.
Yeah, it should make it for a very interesting rest of the championship. Just like to mention, Artie has picked up damage on the front right, whilst we were having some information about the championship. Harley did come in for a set of the ultra soft tyres, so he's now begun for 16.7 seconds for him to catch up on these final few laps. I know. I did.
He was Mr. Consistent.
Oh, Harley's had a moment at the Novo chicane. He has spun it, but he's got no damage by the looks of things. But now he's got to catch up even more of a gap. across
Even more
the next
comfortable for that.
15 laps. Surely Artie can do this now as Adam Lee has come into the pits and he is now 5th place with 5 stops. Yes, I feel happy about that. Now just don't pin it for the rest of the flight. Press the road, please, sunshine. As Amazed also did pit, he's now on to his 8th stop of the race.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not going at all well for them. And I mean, Coxie as well, he's only 13 seconds behind Harley. One thing I will have a look at is time penalties while I have a brief moment. Dasher has 1 penalty to his name. Harley has got... RC, sorry, has got 1. Harley, he has 2 penalties, which could actually come to hinder him later. If he's supposed to catch up Artie and he has 1 more penalty, he's then got to get 3 further seconds ahead, as well as doing the overtake around Monaco, which is already hard enough. Coxie, meanwhile, he has 1 penalty to his name. Adam Lee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalty to his name. Meanwhile, Amazed, who it doesn't really matter for in the end, but he has 1, 2, 3. He has 3 second time, 3 second time. It's 9 seconds in total. But of course that does mean now that Harley not only has to catch up to on RT, he also then has to get a further 3 seconds away. And I mean, given how much he's closed up to this lap, definitely a sign. As Amazed to pick up another one. He does have 1 to his name. But when you're 38 seconds clear, do you really have to focus on time penalties? I mean, RT of course is posting. No, I probably think you could probably just go for it. Meanwhile, Artie is still sticking in the course because he's still trying to recover this 2 laps of fuel that he now has under. He's managed to save that amount. But this, of course, means that Harley is just going to close right up as he has no real fuel to worry about. Just stick it in stand and then just absolutely bomb it on them fresh Ultra Softs. It'll be crucial not getting damage as well in the process. Bit quiet out there at the moment, to be honest with you. 13 laps to go, and it's still as we are.
So we had so much action at the start, it's kind of evened itself out as the race has gone on, which is a shame, but we got paid our fair share of excitement, especially on lap 1. Should be a lot of action after the race. We're going to have to spend a lot of time reviewing that.
Yeah, especially the instant start. Yellowflag in sector 3, or Adam Lee's had a moment at the chicane, and then he's just tried to do a point turn to try and turn himself back round, and instead by trying to turn himself back round, he's then clipped the wall and ended up with front wing damage. So now he's got even more damage to manage with on the front right. He only gets another 3 second time penalty because he's just massively butchered Sander Vott. So can this man's day get any worse? I don't think not. But it's been a bit of a day up and down, of course, because even one of the guys was just stuck it out. 5 stops later, and he's still there. Is another yellow flag in sector 3. That is ESR Amazed, who has no front wing at all, and maybe due in for his 9th stop of the race. And is 2 laps down from his nearest opponent, which is Adam Lee. And into the pits he comes for his 9th stop of the race. Remember, this is. Yeah, you do the maths. That's a lot of stops. As in he comes again. What tyre is it going to be? It is a lovely set of the Ultra Softs.
If I'm adding that up, that's a 3 minutes worth of race time. He's getting through stops. Because 9 times 20, of course, 180 in 3 minutes. Obviously, he's going to lose time crashing. Yeah, it's certainly a strange sport. Interesting. Happened next to my name. Something that never happened more in my league racing time. I either hit 3 or 4 times on a bad day. Did 5 or 6 and retired.
Yeah, well, I mean, what can you say, really? I imagine that he's probably running the. I imagine he's probably running Red Bull's finance into the ground. I'm sure they've got enough money. So the Artie's picked up another 3 second time penalty there. That now puts him up under 6 seconds worth of penalties, which now means that he is equal to Harley. So now it means that once he does catch up, he's going to have no choice now. But it is ridiculous in that closed him down. We are going to have a very much dramatic
Artie is no
finish.
push on. Artie is no push on, especially Artie is one of the most difficult people when it comes to overtake because he always defends the inside line. Around somewhere like Monaco, of course, that's very hard.
Oh, Harley's got damage on the run towards the swimming pool section. So he's probably still going to close up, to the back of Artie. But now they will both have damage for this battle. But I mean, he was closing up around 2 seconds a lap now. Let's see how much he closes up with a front wing
That's
damage.
a second, I reckon. A second a lap would be a thing. Pressure
Yeah,
tyres.
it's still enough, but it would be the penultimate lap. He would be on the back of him. So I mean, that's
of course
that's
Artie's
make
going
it
to drop
difficult
off.
enough.
Artie's going to drop off even more with his tyres, so take that into fact.
As Coxey's dived it in again, he's got front wing damage in the front left. This is now his third stop of race. And it's actually super soft tyres, I believe. No, it's ultra soft, sorry. It does the good old flicker, where it doesn't exactly tell me. No, it is super soft. Flick it again. Trying to work out what tyres he's on is a bit of a nightmare, because even on the graphic it doesn't tell me. But he is on the super softs. And the Toro Rosso should come out firmly in P4, because his nearest component is Adam Lee, and he is 1 minute behind him. So it should be enough. But Coxey's sort of sitting around the 0 laps of fuel mark, so he's got to keep it nice and composed. As the gap has now come down to 9.5 seconds between Artie and Harley. So as actually Artie has got ESR and Maze behind him. As still Artie is 1.3 seconds down of fuel as he just starts lap number 29. We'll stick on. I'll tell you what. Let's stick on board for a lap, because he's got 2.1 lap of spare fuel. Let's stick on board with our leader for a little bit. Not really kept him too much attention, really. He's 34 seconds clear, and I have never seen someone probably drive so comfortable around Monaco in my life. He just looks right at home, like as if he was sipping on a cup of tea. Well, not a cup of tea. He's American. On a Budweiser or something, chilling out on his porch, having a nice day. But instead, he's on F1 2017. Cruising away around the streets of Monaco. He's about to start lap number 30. There's a 5-second stop-go penalty for Adam Lee, who somehow managed to cross the pit exit white line. As he come in again, that is his 6th stop of the race. Amaze has now made 9, and actually, he's been disqualified. Adam Lee has been disqualified from the session. Received multiple penalties, and he is out of the race, so we're down to 5. So that means it is on for double points when he's done 9 stops.
I'm just gonna say this on the stream. That is the best thing I've ever seen. I've only seen that once before, and that was Feisty Teddy Nagy on Canada.
Madness.
I would like to say that we have more viewers than we actually did at the start.
Races at the start.
Yeah, we do. We had 15 viewers at the moment.
Oh, buzzing! Hi,
and I
everyone.
believe most of them are from the iCoxy lads of F1XL cheering him on. Just in the Twitch chat
Let's
for
just
them.
hope they
keep
go
going.
back and watch the start of it. That's where a lot of the action was. So much now, we're often trying to make up scraps and conversations to talk about in the middle of this race. So there's too much action. Let's hope Artie makes some sort of mistake so Harley can catch up and have a good battle with him.
Yeah, let's hope we have a bit of a clean battle. No, Harley's in the wall! Harley
No!
pinned it! At the Novo chicane! Oh my goodness me! He has binned it in P3! Unbelievable, we're down to 4th Artie pits! Oh my goodness me!
Mad.
Oh! This is unbelievable stuff! That now promotes Coxey into 3rd. ESR Amaze will now be P4.
P4.
And you cannot quite write
Amazed
this.
for a podium. Amazed for a podium.
You cannot write this at the moment. That now means Dasher is actually on potentially to lap everyone on the field if he can close up to Artie without he makes another mistake. I mean, the top 3 have all made 1, 2, 3 stops. But Artie came out in the ultra soft. Now the question is each has got to keep it clear. He's got, right, the top 3, there is 58 seconds between Dasher and Artie, and there's 50 seconds between Coxey and Artie.
These things.
That is unbelievable. Such a shame for Harley Harlan, we've got to say. He just kept it clean. But
let's just say that
isn't happy in the chat.
like, yeah, there's 15, 16 viewers, and they're probably looking at this like, oh, there was 13 races at the start, there's only 4 left, oh, this is boring. Like, there has been so much action in this race. You couldn't have wanted more. There's been overtaking, there's been drama, there's been battle, there's been crashes, there's been alternate strategies. There's been everything a fan would want in a race. They're just not the championship battle yet.
Yeah, this is a very good point, especially people like Artie and Coxie, lads who've not really had the best of results. They're on for some very high points, as Mazed as well being another one. He's not even overtaken a Harley yet, for the moment, to grab that P4. Of course, he has made 8 stops more than Harley, so it would have took a while, but Dasher's dived it in, as he's got front wing damage on that front left.
Is he?
So that's interesting for him. Coxie, by the way, has closed up to 28 seconds behind him. He's just unlapped himself, by the way. It is ultra soft tyres for Dasher.
Perhaps that Dasher had a big spin, I reckon. I reckon to lose that much time, he could have been backwards somewhere. I don't know if he saw a yellow flag for him, but to have that much damage and lose that much time, you can't keep the car straight like that either. So, big moments of Dasher somewhere we just missed.
Yeah, well, a bit of excitement for you. Bit of excitement. Here's our Maze has now hit double figures on the pits.
Harley,
He
please.
has now stopped it 10 times in this Grand Prix for the Red Bull. And he will start to close up to Harley, hopefully, for that P4. But he has stopped 10 times in this Grand Prix.
That is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, surely that's going to be a WXL record, and surely that will continue.
Oh,
for seasons to
WXL
come.
record for sure.
Hopefully that might stick, whether someone will be able to beat that next year in Monaco. We'll have to
the
wait.
award on the Twitter later. Driver of the day, most piss stops of the day. No ideas.
Crash of the day.
There we go.
Crash of the day.
That's the start. That's got to be the start.
That
Huge.
no, crash of the day should be Harley, really.
It will
Crash at the start was huge. KJ Gamer and McElhaney and Snakes all coming together, and all of a sudden everyone's ghosting.
Line where one of them was sideways, nearly in a swim somewhere.
Well, don't jinx it, man. There's still 6 laps to go. Still anything can happen.
Or Dasher can go. Who gets fastest lap? I assume he does.
I mean, Dasher does have some rich filters. We've got 2.6 seconds, 2.6 laps, sorry, clear of fuel. Imagine the scenes if someone retires in these last few laps and Mazed gets a podium. That could genuinely be quite something. Well, no, he's running in rich fuel, but he's 1 lap down of his fuel, so he's going to run out. But actually, potentially not, because he's so many laps down, it's not going to matter for him actually, because of the 39 laps of fuel. But I would say, I believe it's over a minute between the two. Actually, no, it's just under a minute. Sorry, between the top 3 in the end. So, I mean, you do the maths. It's quite a big mark.
5 minutes behind Coxie. That's the best thing I've ever seen.
He's 4 laps behind the leader, so he's currently chilling on lap 30. And 3 laps behind Coxie, so I mean, yeah, it's not going well for him. But you got to say, fair play to him for sticking it out. You know, of course, some people, the first sign of damage, they'll just retire and not carry on with the race. But he has made the decision to stick it out as Maze sets the fastest lap. A 12.656.
He did a thing.
And the Red Bull.
He's done a thing.
This is a stellar drive. Amazing drive from Monty. Because this.
Yeah, May should get like 5 million points
He's
for
kept
that.
it on the track, the drivers, and now he's on to rake in some big rewards and some big points for Ferrari and the constructors as well. So kudos to him.
Indeed, it is. Fair play to Artie. He's been so consistent in this race. He didn't qualify high as he usually does, and he started 8th, he's now 2nd. I love the fact that everyone in the top 4, none of them started in the top 4. Dasher started 5th, he's now 1st. Artie started 6th, he's now 2nd. Coxie started 9th, He's now 3rd. And Amaze started 7th. He is now 4th. So, I mean,
GG.
none of the top 4
I don't think
were in the top 4 for the qualifying.
I don't
So,
think anything's.
and Amaze is at pit stop number 11.
Ooh, gets longer, get bigger and bigger.
He's in for another set of ultras offs.
Yeah, he got accidentally put onto them by the game.
Red Bull, probably amazed on Inters.
But
I'm very excited for Canada now, based on this race. There's going to be a few more rivalries, a few more battles. Certainly, the championship is heating up. People are getting a clearer view of where they are, both the constructors and drivers, as I said earlier. The playing field is levelling out. We're starting to see a picture of who's at the top, who's in the midfield a bit more, which makes Canada being a short time track anyway, not a very long track at all, the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. It's going to make qualifying closer and hopefully race pace even closer, as we tell in real life every week in real F1. Race pace is much closer than qualifying as always, and we also got that proved that today, but perhaps didn't get a clear picture of it because of the crash. But still, nevertheless, race pace is always closer than qualifying, and qualifying is going to be close in Canada.
indeed it should be. And I'm
I
very
was-
excited for next week.
I was going to say something, but Dasher's actually spoiled the pie. I was going to say that it was the first time that the whole field has got a full front wing, but yeah, Dasher's got damage, so that ruins that one.
There's a bit of damage on the front right. Dasher front left.
Does he? Oh, he has. He did
Coxey
last time I looked.
is all good, and Amazed, of course, after 11 stops, I think his front wing's pretty okay by this point. As I mean, he's probably drove Red Bull almost to administration by this point. They probably had
cost
to
him £1 million quid.
probably had to run down
It
to
was
the
King's
Toro Rosso
getting
garage.
Can't wait. Right, it looks like Red Bull are going to get gone to a minute.
They're just using the Toro Rosso front wing 'cause it's fine, lads.
And it's like Coxey's not going to bin any more times. Have some of ours, don't worry about it. But yeah, they've probably made the long run down towards the Toro Rosso garage, but maybe potentially might ask for a few more. But Dasher has just started the penultimate lap, and well, yeah, he's made probably one more stop than he probably should have. But I mean, when he's so far clear, might as well. To come through turn number 5, he's still got 2.7 laps to burn, and of course, got to say fair play to TR Lad. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite what they were hoping for. You know, walking into this race, coming out of turn 1, actually turn 3, I should really say. They're probably expecting a Williams 1-2 at this rate. But Casey with that bit of damage, and then when he came out, he got some more damage, and then to make the day even worse, he probably had a terminal damage collision at one of the slowest speeds I've ever seen. I don't think I could have jogged
At this
past
wall,
the
right?
wall. Yeah, just at the wall that has just gone past.
I think me and my dad drove around the track last summer more quicker than he hit the wall there.
Probably right to be fair, because he was going at a crawling pace. But round the final corner, round the mountain nose, comes Dasher, and he's about
Onto
to
the final
initiate
lap.
the last lap. The white flag is out if we were in America, but we're not. We're in Monaco, so there's not a white flag. Instead, we
There
just
is a red
have the
and
white
white
Williams.
We have a red and right flag. Also, I must say, Dasher is truly marking a challenger for the title. He's had a solid race. He had an okay qualifying, perhaps didn't get to show the real deal from him. Mucked up his last run. But it just made us have a better race. Avoided contact at the start. Most important thing in a race is to avoid contact on lap 1 and start your race on Monday. And that's what he did. He's now raked in the benefits. He's bringing home 25 big points. Kudos to him. Good drive. RT as well. As I said, great consistency. Well deserved P2. And third place Coxey. Brilliant race as well from him, considering the amount of incidents he's had. To still have all 4 wheels on his wagon. Over to you, Jack.
Indeed. Now, I wasn't going to say anything about Dash's drives till around the final corner he comes. He does come around out your nose now. I wasn't going to say anything because of how chaotic this race, but it's been absolute carnage. But most importantly, Dasher kept it clean. He wins WXL's round number 4 here at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, and a fantastic drive, a fantastic effort for his championship bid. 25 full points come towards the Williams boys on board with Ignorati in the Ferrari now as he comes through the final sector. And this man, I don't think anyone would have put, if you'd have gone down to the bookies, gone down to Ladbrokes and said, right, I'm going to put a fiver on Ignorati, they'd have told you 2 things. Number 1, we do not do WXL for betting. Number 2, which is stupid by the way, and number 2, that is
It's 5,000 to 1.
But he's done it! And Ignorati, congratulations, there is someone who's just won £5,000 in somewhere in the world. But Ignorati takes P2, and well, I can't see as well.
My bank account.
If you'd have gone down to the bookies and said, right, I'm going to put a further bet on Icoxy and Pad User to get a podium, I'd have said, you're nuts. He nicks P3 in a 4-man finish race. Amazed is my driver of the day because he did a solid 11 stops and kept it clean. Heskey, who's yours?
Personally, I've got to say my driver is TR Dasher, driver of the day. Kept it consistent and, as I said earlier, kept it clean. Did the thing that's most important around Monaco that, unfortunately, none of his 12 rivals could do.
I mean, you went for the pretty obvious option. I thought I'd go for the one for the joke. But there is TR Dasher, the American on the top step of the podium here at Monaco. It's the Austrian of Ignorati in second, and it's the Brit of Icoxy rounding out the podium. There's your final 3 out of 4. And that was WXL's Monaco
Strachan
Grand Prix.
14's my driver of the day, lads. Just putting it out there.
And we will get these guys in for podium questions, hopefully. I know Icoxy can't because unfortunately he doesn't have a mic, but we will get Dasher in and we will hopefully get Artie in.
Thanks for him.
Jack, is it okay if I ask each driver one question?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
In the spirit of good day, of course you can.
Good.
There is Dasher. There is Artie. Right, lads, first of all, both make sure you have your mic enabled, and we will start in reverse order. We'll start with the man who finished second. Unfortunately, we can't have Coxie in, but massive congratulations to him for a consistent drive in P3. We'll start with Artie, the Scuderia Ferrari driver, the man that I recently just said that if you went down to the bookies, they'd have thought you were ludicrous putting a bet on him to get a podium. But Enigma Artie, we'll start to you off, first of all. Congratulations on P2 today, my friend. Fantastic, consistent drive by yourself. First question for you. Were you expecting this?
Well, podium was my target coming into this. Yeah, I mean, I just tried to stay out of trouble as I could. Hoping was hoping to have maybe a bit more drivers to battling with for the podium, but apparently they didn't survive or had issues, so yeah, they dropped out. And well, I moved up.
Indeed, it was a very consistent drive by yourself. Second question for you comes about with regards to Harley, actually, the guy that you were kind of in a pursuit with in sort of before he pitted, and afterwards you were running away from. It was almost like an Indiana Jones when he runs towards the guy, sees how many they are, and then runs back the other way. What was really your sort of
justice for Harley.
Heading in towards that battle? Because obviously it looked inevitable that it was going to happen, and obviously, unfortunately, we didn't get to see it. But what was your plan heading to that? Were you just planning to just keep it clean, or were you trying to go as fast as you possibly could?
Well, before my first stop, I was on Ultras. I already had damage. I knew that Harley was closing me in, so I assumed he didn't, and then he apparently pitted first. No, he didn't pit first, but maybe he got damage or not. I don't really remember, but after I pitted, I had a new wing, and then I was catching that gap back up to like 8 or something seconds, and then I saw him pit it, and I was just always looking after the gap, and at one moment I saw it down to 20 seconds, so then I thought that he had a moment or something, and then once it got down to 10, it didn't reduce anymore, so I assumed he got damage as well. And yeah, I was just keeping it, trying to keep my own pace, like not get any more penalties or damage myself, and just look after the gap.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you definitely did that, and of course, nice consistent drive from you is always key. Consistency is key is a famous saying, which is why I'm not a good league racer. Let me tell you that. But final question for you. We will move over to actually one of your co-owners, really, someone that you know quite well. Shemileheskey would like to ask the last question, so Heskey, take it away.
Yeah, Artie, obviously you drove a great consistent race. You kept it clean during the most important stages of the race. At turn 1, turn 3, carnage. How did you avoid it? And what was you thinking as you went past it all?
Well, I saw it as maybe, I don't know, it was just that was the had first time. I mean, everybody in front of me was like ghosting, and I was like, at one moment I was just down to like 8th, 9th, 7th, 9th again, 10th, maybe then just 6th. It was just I don't know. It was the first time I had like something like that. So I really didn't know what position I was in until I actually started lap 2 and a whole lot of people pitted. And then I don't know I was sick. But yeah, apparently it was actually, I think, good that they were ghosted. Otherwise, I would have picked up some damage from that incident there as well, or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just lucky.
yeah. Well, no, yeah. Well, that will actually conclude the questions. Congratulations, Artie, on your first podium, I believe, in the season
Of the season, yeah.
WXL, and I
Thanks.
hope there is more to come, because that was fantastic from yourself, and we look forward to seeing you in the future rounds as we usually do. But we will move swiftly along to the man who probably had the most boring race out of the entire 13 drivers, actually 14 that started the WXL race today. Dasher. Now, first thing I'd like to talk to you about was lap 1, because you started 5th, and somehow at the end of turn 5, even to my disbelief, you were leading.
Oh, yeah.
Take us through the start.
Okay, so I actually had a pretty bad qualifying, and as you saw in the stream, I actually wrecked trying to improve, which I probably wasn't going to anyway. But yeah, so started 5th, and I got a pretty decent start. I got alongside my teammate, who unfortunately retired later on, and then I thought I might get by him, but then going up the hill, he got just ahead of me, so I just tucked in right behind him, seeing what might happen. And then as we go into turn 3, you'd see KJ deja vuing it through the turn. So, like, everyone was going to the outside trying to avoid him, and everyone was ghosting, so I just went with my instincts and went to the inside. And I thought I would hit KJ, but he was actually ghosted as soon as I made contact, so went through, and then I just held it through and got through to after turn 5 into the lead, and I just kept it there.
Indeed, you did. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it looked pretty boring for you out in front. You just had it all nice and calmly composed. I even said you probably might as well have a Budweiser on your porch.
I'm 16, but yeah.
You were that, you're sort of cruising along.
American drinking laws.
But yeah, it was very decent for you. Second question for you, it's got to come back to the championship, of course. With Smithson retiring for the season, it sort of opened up and sort of allowed it. The main man that everyone's been talking about is KJ Gamer, but you look to be the front man to contend against him. You know, what's your comments about that? Do you think that you really have got it to maybe potentially be massively in this championship fight, especially as well with the recent results that you've had?
I do believe so. I don't want to hype myself up too much and then DNF in the next race or something, but I actually competed against KJ Gamer a lot in back last season of Apex Online Racing. We were in F4 together, and yeah, he was very consistent. He started every single race, never missed one. I think he only DNF'd like a few times. He's a very consistent driver, a very fast driver. He doesn't use lines, so of course he got to F2. Well, I was stuck and down in F3, but yeah, we had a few battles, and I think overall he was probably a little faster than me. But I do think I can bring the fight as long as I keep up what I've been doing. I actually had this race circled on my calendar because I was like, okay, because I don't want to hype myself up again, but I do happen to be pretty good at here at Monaco. Not even in qualifying, but just I don't know if maybe it's the wheel or maybe it's just my style, but I do tend to have really good consistent race pace, and well, apparently really good luck considering what happened in lap 1.
Indeed, I would call that. I'd call that genius. I would, my friend. But yeah, we'll move swiftly along to the final question, which I will hand over, as I do, to my lovely co-commentator. More like a spotter, really. He was like a rallycross spotter where he was saying inside, outside instead. He was saying instant here or talking about something to do with strategy. Shemileheskey, take it away for the final question.
Yeah, hi Jake. Very nice, consistent race you drove there. I think it was a very good drive. You deserved the win as well. My question is, I know we've gone through your lap 1 mindset and everything, but as you went through the race and you knew drivers were dropping off one by one, and does it help your mindset as you're going through the race, let's say lap 10 to 15 to 20, knowing that the gap's getting bigger, your strategy's playing in your favour? Does it make it easier to open up different strategies? Perhaps you can pit again if you get front wing damage, knowing you've got that gap. Does it just help you relax more? Does it improve the race pace, the consistency? Does it help you set yourself into a better rhythm?
50-50 on that, because what happened, well, yeah, actually a lot of the things that you said could have happened did happen. With Ethan, he actually managed to get to second place somehow through the ghosting. And he actually had some front wing damage, so he was holding them up for me, and I really appreciated that. But actually, he was able to get away from them too, so I don't know, maybe they had wing damage as well. But that was actually what helped me build up the gap at first. And then, yeah, as you said, saw that people dropping off, and that made me kind of relax. I was like, okay, less people to have to deal with when I get out of the pits. And all that stuff, but it also kind of made me a little nervous because, like, okay, all these people are dropping off. They aren't just a bunch of pansies. I mean, they're pretty decent, so it kind of makes you feel like you might have an increased chance of crashing out too. And there were quite a few moments where I nearly did, maybe like 2 or 3, because I think in lap 22, it was a few laps after I had come out of pits onto the supers. I had gotten a light green front wing in the final sector somewhere. I think when I tapped the wall. And then later on, I got an orange left front wing when I hit the curb a little too fast coming out of turn 4 and went into the left side wall. I mean, either of those times, if this damage setting was set a little higher, I probably would have crashed out, breaking a suspension arm or something. So, I mean, once that was happening, I was like, okay, calm it down. So I backed the pace down way much, and that big gap that I had was finally coming into use, because I think it had gotten up to 37 seconds before all that stuff happened, and then I was just riding it out, like going real slow. It was kind of uncomfortable, and then Enigma already decided to pit, so I had nearly a minute lead, so I decided to come into the pits, change the front wing and all that stuff. But the funniest thing was that as soon as I came back out, I was so unused to the new pace, the quick pace, so I immediately got an orange front wing at the same place I got it the last time coming out of turn 4. So okay, well that's great. So I just coaxed it to the end, nearly setting faster lap times than I had been earlier. So that's just showing you that this track requires a lot more mechanical grip than technical. But I mean, yeah, overall it was a very interesting race with everyone dropping out and the big gap I was forming and everyone retiring, and then me having to go through them into the bus stop chicanes or something, just seeing how that all played out. It was pretty interesting. It was a little boring, but I mean, sometimes it's just nice to have a race once in a while where you don't have to worry about someone catching you or like everything going wrong. It's just nice to have a big gap like that right at the end.
Oh, thank you, Jake. Nice insight there. And I will hand back over to Jack as we say goodbye to this dream.
Indeed, we do. Well, congratulations to Jake and Artie, respectively, on their podium. And, of course, congratulations to Coxie as well, who rounded out the podium. And we look forward to maybe potentially seeing you guys back up here next week. Who knows? You've got a bit of a test as we head towards Canada. But that will conclude that. Now, if there's an end of season awards for WXL, which I hope there will be, and you have an option to vote for Race of the Season, If Monte Carlo is not there, you should be messaging Shemileheskey this time tomorrow with an angry, sternly worded letter about why, because that was sensational. That was nothing short of world class of a Grand Prix. I have been one of your two co-commentators, F1XL Nut Head. Joining me in the comments, Shemileheskey. Thank you very much for joining me, my friend. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being a good co-com, Jack.
Indeed, what can I say? I'm not too bad, am I? I'm not too bad. But yeah, that will conclude that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. Don't forget to tune in.
Week
Goodbye.
after. It's a break week.
Week after. There we go.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Artie coming on board. We've got a week break next week, and the week after. Don't forget to tune in. See you next time. Goodbye.